After today's training, you'll be able to demonstrate a minimum of 10 steps required during the end-of-the-day vehicle shutdown. After a long, exhausting day, it's time to go home. Well, almost. But because I'm a responsible manager of my truck, I need to accomplish several things before I do go home. As a professional ready-mix truck driver, there are at least 10 steps I go through each evening before I go home. Follow along with me and see how a responsible manager takes care of his or her vehicle. Every evening before going home, I fuel up my truck. Regardless of how many loads I've hauled today, I will still top off my tank. I am also cautious of fuel contamination. This happens when someone is not paying attention and the fill nozzle or filler cap is dropped on the ground and is not cleaned off before using. You see, dirt can cling to the hose nozzle or cap and become washed into the fuel tank, resulting in costly repairs and major frustration. After I fuel up, I always find a suitable spot to reverse the drum to discharge any remaining moisture or slurry. I always drain the air reservoirs to remove any condensation, sludge, or oil accumulation. Especially in the wintertime, I drain all the water tanks and all the water lines. I always take a look underneath the truck to look for any obvious problems such as leaks or hanging wires. Then I take a look at my vehicle inspection report. After carefully examining my truck before going home, I take my report and I make any notations of any defects or deficiencies on my truck. This is my opportunity to mark down any items I feel will affect the safety or operation of my truck tomorrow. Then I always sign off and turn the original copy in and leave the yellow copy in the book to remain in the vehicle. Now it's time to move my truck over to the area where I'm going to park it for the night. If at all possible, I try to lower my booster axles each evening and leave them in the down position. Because a hot engine has a great deal of heat stored up in its iron masses, I let the engine idle 1,000 RPMs for a minute or so, and then a lower idle for 30 seconds before I shut it down.